What's up guys, and welcome back to another G35 video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you guys a little mod that I found out about not too long ago, and it has to do with your throttle body on your G35. This is going to be the part that we're going to be installing on the G35 today, and we're also going to be using some clamps, and that's about it for this install. It's going to be really easy, nothing too crazy, but this does help a lot with the G. What we're installing on the G35 today is a coolant bypass valve. Basically what this valve does is it prevents coolant from flowing into the throttle body and heating up the throttle body. Now the reason why you would want to do this mod is if you live in like a hotter climate, you really don't need coolant going through your throttle body and heating it up. So the reason why this is a thing on the G35s, mainly just so that the throttle body, the valve could move around so it heats it up. In colder climates, it's going to be a lot tougher and wear out maybe the throttle body a little bit quicker. So that's kind of the reason behind it having, you know, coolant passing through the throttle body. I bought this valve from Lowe's. You can go ahead and pick it up for like 10 bucks, so it's nothing too crazy, nothing too expensive. Then I also bought these hose clamps from O'Reilly's. I couldn't find them in Lowe's, so you can get them at O'Reilly's, AutoZone, any auto parts store. You can get these. So the first thing we're going to do is take off the engine cover, and then we're going to end up taking off the intake tubes, and we'll be able to access it. I like how you're lifting. Bro, imagine that bolt was that long. That holds the oil pad in place. Here's the coolant line that we're gonna have to splice into so that we can put the valve. That's gonna go ahead and block the coolant from going into the throttle body, and then you can also control it if you ever need it or if you ever want to get coolant to flow into the throttle body. You wanna want it, I was what you needed, let's put it in your bus. So I made the cut in between, so right before it gets a little thicker. This is how it looks, and there will be a little bit of coolant that comes out. That's just normal. The hose is a 3/8 hose. This is a 1/2 inch. It's just gonna be easier to find a 1/2 inch than a 3/8. So that's why I went ahead and picked this up. So now what Thomas is gonna do, he's gonna put a little bit of grease just so that way it goes in a little easier. All right guys, so we ended up putting the first half in, and we used the hose clamp just to tighten it up. I know that the handle is a little too big and annoying. I tried to get parts that were readily available, so this was a 1/2 inch, and I just wanted for you guys, if you wanted to get it right now and get it done today, go to your Lowe's and pick one of these up instead of having to wait for it to be shipped on Amazon or wherever. But it is a 3/8, so if you do want to get the proper one from like Amazon, you could pick up a 3/8 valve. Make sure you put the hose clamp before you put the valve. We're gonna put some grease on here again, and then we're gonna put it on this one, and we should be good to go. This is with the valve open. Obviously it's flowing, and then once we want it closed, we can do this and close it up. This is going to help to prevent the coolant from reaching the throttle body. Just heating up the throttle body when it's already hot outside. It's basically just heat soaking the throttle body, and you don't really need that, at least in California. So now there is a more permanent solution for this. If you don't want to get a valve, you can literally just get a connector that connects this side to the return line on the throttle body, completely bypass it, but you don't have the valve, so if you ever wanted to, you know, use it again for whatever reason, you wouldn't have the ability to. Almost got it. Stop, it's not Brazzers. So I'm gonna try and see if I can imitate the sound of a G35 or a 350Z. So leave a comment down below on how I did on a scale from 1 to 10. So here we go. Thank you. Alright guys, so we are done with the valve. We ended up putting the 2 hose clamps, so it's all good to go, and it is closed already. As for bleeding the coolant, since we did introduce air into the system, I'm not going to be doing that. I just don't think it's necessary. There are going to be people that say you should do it regardless, and I do agree with them, but the amount of air that we're going to get in the system is not even worth, you know, trying to get it out. But if you do want to, I guess you could still bleed the system. I'm just not going to. So now what we're going to do is put the intake back on, and then we're basically done with the install, so let's go ahead and finish this up. Alright guys, so we're done putting in the intake. Everything is good to go. And what's really cool about this is the valve is big enough to where you can access it from here. So if you really wanted to, you can move it from here. That's pretty cool. So now again, this is going to help with temperatures on the throttle body. Now the coolant does get really hot, you know, once the car is to normal operating temperatures. Coolant can get up to temperatures of like 220. So it's better to just have ambient temperature on the throttle body instead of having coolant. I mean, it is a hot place. California is not as cold as other states, so I'm able to do this. So people are also saying that it frees up a little bit of horsepower. It would make sense though, just because of how the air is going to be a lot colder than it is, you know, with coolant passing by the throttle body. If you have any questions on the mod that we just did, leave them down below. I'll make sure to answer all the questions that I get. I will be doing a review just to see if I still recommend them to you guys, or if I recommend them for specific people or specific scenarios. So that's going to be all for this video, you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys learned a little bit about the mod that we did. If you're new around here, subscribe, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. This video is sponsored by Snap-on. Get your Snap-on today.
Yay.